what's up everyone? Welcome to today's video. I'm super excited. So today we're gonna go to Surugaya, and these places are really fun to explore. The prices are not gonna be like super cheap because it's a specialty store. They kind of have anything you would want, from anime, trading card, action figures, books, you name it, and especially retro games. So they don't always have retro games, but when they do, it's usually a really good and interesting selection. They have a lot more specific things like Mega CD, Sega Saturn, and stuff that you usually don't find at the Hard Off. There was a lot. I think I'm gonna split this video into 2 parts, so stay tuned and let's see what they have to offer. Let's go. And here we go, right off the bat, some Mega CD games. Ninja Warriors, a port of the arcade game, really cool. And Battle Fantasy, a medieval fantasy genre fighting game, pretty unusual. And there's Black Hole Assault, let's go. We've Black Hole Assault for the Mega CD, another fighting game. Then 7580, we've got Pop Full Mail. Then next to it, Echo the Dolphin CD, one of the better games for the Mega CD. I like the soundtrack, it's all enhanced and stuff. It's, yeah, a really good version, I like Echo. Unfamiliar with this one? The Third World War. A strategy game featuring Bill Clinton, I guess. Okay. Then Thunderhawk for the Mega CD, one of those 3D games. And Thunderstorm FX. It's a shooter on rails, but the background is a video. Then the CD version of Shining Force, cool little RPG. Then Seirei Shinseki Fei Area. Said that right on the first try, thank you very much. Sonic CD, can't go wrong. I like this version as well, just not a big Sonic fan.
Mega CD. 究極兵器メタルソニック、最速にして最強のライバル出現がソニックを熱く過激にする。過去へ未来へ、超音速アクションは時空をも超えた。Sonic the Hedgehog CD from Mega CD.
Daihoshiden, could not find a lot of information on this one. Then a very underrated game, Nobunaga and his Ninja Force, a great little shoot 'em up. Then Time Gal, a Dragon's Lair kind of full motion video game. Record of Lotus War, 3000 yen, a cool little full motion video RPG. And Laughing Salesman, this is actually one of my favorite anime of all times. It's really cool. He's a salesman and he'll like grant you a wish, but then there's something terrible that happens and it's always something shady. The Nightlife of Kabukicho. This is a full motion video game based on it. It's really good, highly recommended. Then the classic Might and Magic 3 for 3,230 yen. Soul Feast, a great shoot 'em up, but really difficult. Magical Girl Silky. I didn't know a lot about this one, but it looked interesting. Same goes for Yumimi Mix. I'm not sure what this is. It's another full motion video game. Then Nostalgia 1907. Again, not sure what this one is, but that soundtrack is apparently really good. And a sequel to the classic Space Harrier 2. I never had a Mega Drive, but there's a lot of classics on here that I missed out on. Then the Mech Shooter Hybrid, kind of a shoot 'em up type game. Assault Suit Linos. G-Loc Air Battle. I've actually owned a lot of copies of this game throughout the years, but I never played it. Then the sequel to Shining Force 2, another RPG for the Mega Drive. And here's a really cool shooter called Curse. Again, one of those really difficult ones, but look at that box art. Amazing. Really cool. Pit Fighter, notorious for not being that good. We move on from Pit Fighter. And Budokan, the martial spirit. I actually practiced kendo since I was like 14 years old, so this one's pretty interesting since it's like the only video game that features it. Dick Tracy, can't go wrong there. Bonanza Bros. I'm not sure what this is, but the gameplay looks interesting. Then we have Saint Sword for 5,000 yen. These Mega Drive games are not cheap. Super Hang-On. Love this in the arcade with the old motorcycle. Then Dynamite Heady, another pricey one for 7,730. I love that they're just out there. Like Ghost and Goblins over here, it's just out on display, no glass section or anything. Really cool. Then people actually speedrun this. Hono no Tokyuji Dodge Danpei. And Marvel Land, another Namco classic for the Mega Drive. Then about 4,000 yen, 30 bucks, the tactical RPG Langrisser. Then Wonder Boy V5 in Monster World 3. Not sure what that is, but here we go. And Langrisser 2, another tactical RPG, the sequel. And Bare Knuckle 2, in my opinion, the superior beat 'em up. And Joe Montana Football also exists in Japan. Thunder Fox, a run and gun. Shadow Dancer. And this big-headed fighting game, Kageki. Interesting. Then one of my favorite arcade games, Columns. I love puzzle games, and this one actually has a lot of arcade machines. Then another difficult shooter, Whip Rush, but this one isn't that expensive at 4,000 yen. Then Valis 3 for 5,000 yen. And eSWAT, another really cool one. Then Echo 2, The Tides of Time in the West, and World of Illusion. This one you can actually play as Donald Duck, which I think is really cool. Then down to the 32X games. Yes, they have them. Star Wars Arcade. Full screen 3D game on the Genesis. Yes, sir. Afterburner, another full screen arcade game. Really, really cool. Bit pricey though. Then Doom. Not full screen and not a very good frame rate. I would avoid this one. Then Golf Magazine's 36 Great Holes starring Fred Couples. That's right, 36 of them. Then Virtua Racing Deluxe 32X. This one, it's actually a good port. I actually like this. And look at that cover art. That's look at those polygons. All right, let's get over to the Virtual Boy. We've got Bomberman, Panic Bomber, a puzzle game apparently, and Red Alarm, another game I know nothing about, but also have no intention to play because, I mean, look at that. I get a headache just looking at it. T&E ソフトが送るバーチャルボーイの決定版レッドアラーム。Then they got a Sega Saturn in the box for 5,000 yen, but it was pretty scuffed up and it wasn't in complete working order. The Christmas edition, 12,800, pretty cool. It's white. A Keyboard Mania controller. And this N64 is pretty good. It was only 2,000, 3,000 yen, but it had the foam and a controller, which this is a really good deal if you don't have an N64. No box. Then the Dead or Alive arcade stick, which didn't have a price, so I don't know. This Neo Geo stick was actually for the PS3. I thought it was for the Neo Geo, but I guess they made this. Then almost 4,000 yen, 26 bucks, a Mario Paint in the box. We recently found this for like 400 yen, so that was pretty nice to find. They had all kinds of arcade controllers up here. The Real Arcade Pro, this flight stick. They have this Kamba Pearl Arcade. These ones are really, really good because they use really high quality parts. Same as the Hayabusa, Hori's flagship arcade stick. Driving Force GT for the Gran Turismo series on PS2. And they have the Hori Fighting Edge. Again, I'm not sure about the prices on these, but really cool that they have like all of these. I also missed the Sega Saturn one on the right. Then this Real Arcade Pro was 2,680. It's for the PS3, and I thought this was a really good price. If you're looking for an arcade stick, 2,600 yen is really good. Then Tokimeki Memorial 3, another game that I haven't played. It's one of those visual novels, and this is a special edition box of some kind. I'm not sure what's inside here. Then a loose Neo Geo CD, 4980. I would have bought this if I was looking for one. I'm actually looking for a other Neo Geo solution, but not the CD because of the loading time. Now let's go to the Famicom. Pretty excited to see what they have here with all the selection that we've had so far. Let's see what they have for the good old Famicom. First up, Takeshi's Challenge. We all know this one. Pretty pricey so far. Now this one is pretty interesting. I used to have it. It's a computer board game, and they have an actual board game inside that works together with the Famicom cartridge. It's really interesting. If it was in better condition, I would have absolutely gotten this. Then the classic Kirby Adventure. And Gambare Goemon, the classic for the Famicom. Now this is the Wavejack series Holy Sword Psycho Caliber. Wavejack was a special line of Famicom Disk System games, and they put a bunch of stuff in there to kind of combat piracy. So you had to really go through it to look for clues to win the game. Some MS-DOS games had this as well back in the day, where you had like this circle thing that you had to look keys for and align them. It's a whole thing. Then Suguro Quest, another RPG, but this one is completely based on dice and the whole thing is a board game. Interesting concept. Jajamaru Ninpuchu, the Jajamaru series continues. Pretty cool little RPG for the Famicom as well. Sabaku no Kitsune. This one is a war strategy game, and yeah, they did not hold back with the cover art. You play as the Axis, and yeah. Then there's Battle Fleet for the Famicom, a maritime war strategy game with Batman as your commander. Then Devilman for the Famicom. A lot of these games actually have fan translations, so I highly recommend you guys look them up. There's ROMs out there for all of these. Macross, the shoot 'em up mech hybrid game. Also really fun to find. Morio Senki Madara. This is one of those games that is also translated. Mario's Open Golf. Can't go wrong there.
皆様お待ちかね、マリオオープンゴルフの開幕です。5コース90ホール、熱い戦いが期待できそうですよ。ズバリ見どころはやはり審査用のアップ画面でしょう。つまり大アップ画面で興奮も大アップというところです。なるほど。ファミコンソフトマリオオープンゴルフ。それではじっくりお楽しみください。
Lunar Ball, play pool on the moon. That's a thing for the Famicom. Magical Tarurutokun, Fantastic World. I guess that's how you pronounce that. Then Neketsu Koha Kunyo-kun. I should cover these a bit more in depth sometime. It's essentially a whole universe with Kunyo-kun as the center, and there's a whole lot of games covering it. One of the games made it to the West as River City Ransom, but yeah, highly recommend you check out all of these series. They're very popular and they're very pricey sometimes as well. Then the classic Clu Clu Land for the Famicom. And we can't forget about Star Force, a really good shoot 'em up. There's not a lot of these on the Famicom, and this one is really good. Always run into this one as well, the Goonies. Really nice to see these games out on display. The games are not actually in there, but it's really cool. Like, sometimes a lot of these games are behind glass or whatever, but we get to really look at them now. Like Twinbee for 5,500, that's a lot, but really fun game nonetheless. And here they have a couple of the Dragon Ball games. Dragon Ball Z, Goku Den. There's differences between all of these, but most of them are kind of like a board game with some card game elements added to it, and then there's fighting scenes which are kind of automatic. They're really fun if you're into the Dragon Ball franchise though. You can compare them to the early Budokai games, but without cool fighting mechanics, if that makes sense. Like, this one's a bit of a strategy game, except for this one, the OG Dragon Ball game, Shenron no Nazu. Highly recommend it. Then this is not an RPG, this is Dragon Spirit. It's a shoot 'em up, and you play as dragons. Then we have the classic Dragon Slayer 4, which is a bit more of a platformer than an RPG. And I've never played this one, Bird Week. It kind of looks like Fantasy Zone, but with actual birds. I'll have to check this out. Then another one of those odysseys I know nothing about, Mirai Shinwa Jarvis. Sure. Then this is one of those oddities. It's a visual novel type game, and it's pretty cool. I've played a bit of it, and the Japanese isn't too difficult actually. Hercules 2, I played the first one. I don't know about this one. It also looks drastically different in terms of cover art. Good old Pachio-kun, the pachinko game, but it has an overworld. The classic Exerion, the shoot 'em up for the Famicom. Speaking of classics, Elevator Action, really fun little spy game, and Atlantis.
残すチャンスは6回。敵は気にせずジャンプに集中する。
これ無理やな。右だな。もう一個右に乗らんかった。何これ。怖い。足りない。
Then one of Scruffy's favorite, Kid Dracula. Boulder Dash, always a fun time. And this one is interesting. It definitely went into my maybe pile. Magmax, a shoot 'em up hybrid mech game, and it usually goes for a bit more. US Championship V-Ball, which is kind of a volleyball game. It's really cool. Look at the background. Then we've got Konami's YY World for 2,000 yen. And Labyrinth, another really cryptic game. Rampart for 1580. And the disc system version of Zelda. What a classic. Then Bomber King, another one of those games you constantly run into, especially in Japan. And for whatever reason, down here they had a selection of American NES games. Now, I don't know if these prices were good or not, but I found them too interesting to not go through. We have Kings of the Beach, Ski or Die. I have no idea what American NES games are worth, but let me know in the comments if these are good finds or not. I always wonder how these found their way all the way over to Japan. I think someone just brought them with them and then went back. So it turns out they did have a glass section and the Blockbuster exclusive Hagane, which is just a regular game in Japan, just pretty expensive. And I'm not sure why some of these games were expensive, some of them weren't. Like, the prices weren't that different than the games that we just found. I think they didn't have the boxes, so that's why they were here. We found another Rat World and some more American games, Captain Skywalk and Tiger Heli. Again, not too expensive compared to the other games, so pretty strange. Then Uchu Kebitain, SDF, and 35,000 yen for Castlevania. Did not know that was so expensive. Then some more premium games, Bloody Wolf, Cotton for the PC Engine CD. Cotton, it's always been an expensive game. Then Mado Monogatari 1, 2, 3 for the PC98. Pretty rare, but fun to find PC98 games. Then Elemental Master for Mega Drive, and 400 bucks for True Lies. Holy crap. What? I don't know if True Lies rare? Let me know in the comments, because I have no idea why this game would be like 400 bucks. It does look interesting. I definitely want to play it now. And not to be overlooked, Neo Geo, 3 games hidden down here. We have King of Fighters 99. I like how King of Fighters only uses 4 buttons. I had King of Fighters 2013 on Steam. I played that a lot. It was a really fun game. I like the pixel art graphics, but completely upscaled. We've got World Heroes 2 Jet, and yeah, I don't know, fighting game, Neo Geo. They all kind of look the same, don't they? Then King of Fighters 2000, again, high-res pixel art, really beautiful looking game. Love the backgrounds in this. And not to forget some DS games. I want to try to go into DS games a bit more because I'm a big fan of the console. So let's start. We've got Ni no Kuni the Jet Black Mage. I think this is a Japanese exclusive, but you're seeing the footage of a fan translation. And the big thing about DS games is these big boxes are always pretty fun and they're eye-catching. big boxes. The boxes, they're, I don't know, this is a fighting game. Cooking Mama 2. This is one of those games that is pretty famous, but never played it. Same with Lucky Star Moe Drill, not familiar with this at all, but again, a big box. And these are the games that always catch my attention. Atelier Annie, loving that art style. And Pokemon Battle and Get Typing. Always worth it to look into these peripheral corners because look at that light boy. I had the worm light as a kid, but this light boy in the box for $25.80, that's such a great little peripheral thing to have. It's in the box, it's so cool. Then this really caught my attention. I really regret not getting this. This is the Let's TV Dragon Ball Z GT Scouter Battle Experience. So what this is it's a scouter, and you use it to aim at your TV, and then you can just do a Kamehameha in Dragon Ball. This is amazing. It's a plug and play little thing. And can't forget Konami's Hyper Beam wireless controller. Before 8-bit do, we had Konami's Hyper Beam. This thing sucks. It's not good. Unless you have like a perfect line of sight with your TV, I don't know. So yeah, there you have it. I love these places. They're so much fun to explore. They're really big. They just kind of have everything. So I could spend hours and hours just exploring. Hit that like button if you liked the video. Hit that dislike button if you didn't like it. And subscribe to the channel, Airplane. Fortunately, there is so much footage. I'm gonna split this up into 2 episodes, so please check out the next one. And yeah, see you guys next time. New video will be up next Friday. I release videos every week, so hit that subscribe button to get notified. And thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.